Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we got a great one for you today. We got a little blurb module here. When I hover over it, you'll see that dark background image is coming into focus. When I take it off, it's going to blur out into the background and bring back that blurb right there. Really easy to do, great little effect to have on your site. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the visual builder. Let's roll on down to where we want to work and we'll start from scratch. I'm going to add a new row. Little green button to add the row. I'll do this in a single column. I know I had smaller ones up above. And let's add a little blurb module again. That'll work fine. This will work with any module you care to use. Like I said, I'm just going to use the blurb module for this today. Okay, well, I'm just going to leave everything as it is, a title there, put in your content here. I'm going to use an icon rather than an image with mine today. So I'll flip the little switch to on, and that little up arrow will work fine for me. Great. Well, I'm going to go over to my design there. I'm going to go down to my text. I want to pop everything in the middle. I'm going to make everything light in color in a minute when I put an image behind there. But I'll leave it on dark for the moment so you can see what's going on. I want to make that title a lot bigger. So what I'm going to do is hit the little paintbrush. When I hover over the title or any of these elements, you'll see a little paintbrush. Just click on the paintbrush. It'll take you straight to it. It's an H4. I'm going to make it perhaps semi-bold, capital. And I want to make it a lot bigger. So I'm going to drag it up to about 30, 35 pixels, something like that. Obviously, do whatever works for you. Great. Now, of course, if you want people to be able to click on this and link to anywhere, you can, under content is always where you'll find a link. You can link the title somewhere and the whole module with another link or use the same link. Always best practice. If you're linking to your own site, leave it in the same window. If you're linking off-site to somebody else's site, open it in a new tab. That way your site's going to stay open. Great. Well, let's add our little image. Now, the way this is going to work, and you probably know this if you've watched any of my other hover effects image to text, is that the image we're going to put behind here is going to reside in the column that our module's sitting in. So let's go into the row, the green tab. Because we're going to use a backdrop filter rather than put it in the row, I'm going to actually put it in the column that the module's sitting in. So I'm going to go into the column right here, hit the little cog. Now let's select a little image. Now you've got color, gradient, image, background video, background pattern or background mask. Let's use an image. Grab us an image. Get something that's pretty colorful. That'll do. Okay, we've got an image behind there. And as you can see, our logo and writing are getting pretty lost in there. Well, let's go back to our little module now and make it the actual size that we want it. So I'm going to save my changes. Save the row changes. I'm going to go into the module itself, and you can make this full width row if you want to. Dark tab for the module, I'm going to go in there. And I'm going to add a bit of padding top and bottom just to make this the shape I actually want it. So over in the design tab, I'm going to go down to spacing. And I'm going to add 150 pixels top and bottom. 150, it'll put in the PX for you. Then hit the chain, it'll do the same on the bottom for you. Let's roll that up so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. That's okay, but our writing needs to be light in color, and with that busy image, it's probably going to get a bit lost in there. But that's okay. Let's go back up to our text, still under the design tab. Go up to the text. I'm going to change that from dark to light. That'll make it white. You can do them individually here as well. And of course, you can change your icon color and everything like that, size at the top there. I'm going to leave mine just like that. Okay, well, that's all right. It's okay, but that writing's still a bit lost to me. And I really want them to be able to read my message here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blur out the background. Then when they hover back over it, I'm going to have it come in sharp, and we'll get rid of the actual message itself so they can see the image behind. So to do that, still in the blurb settings, make sure you're in the blurb settings. Go over to the advanced, custom CSS. And don't panic, I've written all this code before you, and you can find it down below the video if you want to just copy and paste it. If I'm using a backdrop filter today, I'm going to use a blur. I'll just copy and paste it. I'm also using a WebKit version of it for compatibility. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it in the main element. When I do that, you'll see it blur out that background, which is wonderful. And for Divi flows up a little flag here. It's an unknown property, but as you can see, it works. And I've tested it on Brave browser, Chrome, Firefox, and also Edge, and it seems to work fine. Great. So we got that nice little blurred out image there, just what I wanted. But when we hover over, I want it to come back so they can see that nice intricate image. Common to all Divi modules, if you hover over the dark writing within a module, you'll see some little icons pop up. Go to the thing you want to edit, the main element for me today. There's a little arrow there. We can create a hover effect. We've got desktop when the mouse is not on it. That's what you're looking at the moment. And if we click over here where it says hover on the little arrow till it's highlighted blue, we can put a different value in completely. So we can bring that back by doing the opposite. We can give it a blur value of 0. So again, I've got that code over here. And that's brought that back. Now, if you want to leave it like that, that's absolutely fine. But for me, that message kind of gets lost in there still because it's such a busy picture. So when they hover over it, I'm going to have it sort of blur out over time. So let's go back to our desktop state. And you want to put this in the desktop state. I'm going to use a transition duration. I'm going to use 1.5 seconds. And I'm going to pop it in there. Just put your cursor in there. After that last semicolon, pop it in there. I've missed my T there. Let's make sure we've got the right thing. So it's now going to take 1.5 seconds. Let's actually up that. Let's up that to 2 seconds, just so it demonstrates it a bit better for you. It'll take 2 seconds now to get from the blurred state to the clear state. So it'll sort of fade in nice and slowly. And that's up to you, the timing there. Now, as I was saying before, that message is great right here. But when they hover over it and the picture comes back, as you can see, that took 2 seconds to blur back in there. It's still getting a bit lost for me, so I'd rather they focus on the picture than the message. So let's get rid of everything in our blurb module, and that couldn't be easier. I'm just going to add opacity 0 in the hover state, -0. Now, as you can see, or as you can't see because it's disappeared, the actual blurb module has disappeared. But that's only on the hover state. We want to make sure we've got it on the regular state. Perfect. Just to make sure, on the desktop state, I'm going to put opacity 1 after my last entry there, which is fully visible just like that. Great, if we've done everything correctly now, this should work for us perfectly. So desktop, we've got that. Hover, we've got that. So let's save our changes. And like I said, that code's down below the video for anybody who just wants to copy and paste it. We're going to save draft. And let's exit the Visual Builder. Now, once loaded, if we roll on down to where we were working, there's our image right there with the blurred background. You can read that nicely. When we put our mouse over it, in 2 seconds, it's going to fade out and unblur that nice intricate image right there. When we take our mouse off, it's going to take 2 seconds to come back in there. People are mousing around your site and something like that happens, it's going to get their attention pretty quickly. And that's a really nice little effect to use. So there you go, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.